Can somebody just explain how does the job work? Who was asking the query for job work? Job work का किसी का क्वेश्चन था ना स्टार्टिंग में कि भाई जॉब वर्क के बारे में जानना है. Arjun, just how does the job work transaction take place? In this manner? Almost. So there is a principal manufacturer. He receives the order from his customer to manufacture a machine. Say Nelson Discotheque wants to manufacture a water treatment plant. He gets a purchase order at Europe. So he will contact his supplier, place an order on supplier, I want particular inputs. The supplier will send the raw material to the principal. The principal will give the material, this raw material to the job worker for processing. Maybe some fabrication work is to be done, some other work may have to be done. And the job worker does only labor. He is not a works contractor. There is a difference between a works contractor and a job worker. In case of a works contractor, the works contractor, we saw the example of a painting contractor. वो पेंट भी लगाता है और उसका लेबर भी अप्लाई करता है. So there is material flowing in that transaction. A works contractor is a person who provides the material also and the labor also. His own material is there. But in this case, the material is of the principal. The job worker will only do some labor job on it, and he will give back the material to the principal. Right? So that is the function of a job worker. So what is the condition? In case if the principal sends the goods, the raw material to the job worker, and if the job worker returns back the processed material within 1 year, then no tax will be chargeable on supply of goods from the principal to the job worker. So there will be no tax, whether it is a local or whether it is interstate. Right? That will not be there. The principal, when he is buying the raw material, he is eligible for full GST credit on the invoice. Right? Now this raw material, there could be a scenario that the job worker say is in Gujarat, principal is sitting in this MIDC area, he wants to send the goods over there, he is buying the goods from Delhi. He can tell his supplier at Delhi to transfer the materials directly to the job worker at Gujarat. Still, he will be eligible for the input tax credit on the purchases, and still he will not be liable to pay tax on the job work transaction, provided the goods after processing come back to the principal within the 1 year time frame. That is the basic fundamental of all this job work transactions would be conducted. Because we need to, why this exception has been carved out? Because for income tax TDS जो अभी applicable है, it remains at its place. There are no changes in the income tax law in this regard. So income tax, if applicable to a job worker, that income tax transaction would continue. No tax means no GST in this transaction. Yeah. आज सिर्फ जीएसटी पढ़ने का है, इनकम टैक्स को साइड में रख दिया. Next. Yeah, what happens if the job worker does not return the goods within 1 year? If it does not return within the allocated time frame of 1 year, the supply which was made earlier, that will become chargeable to GST. Say 10 lakhs worth of goods I had transferred to the job worker on 1st of April. He has to return it back to me by 31st March. If he does not return me back by 31st March, then the tax liability on that entire goods will come from 1st of April with interest, penalty, etc. All those things would follow. Right? So that has to be, so the processed material has to come back within 1 year, otherwise it becomes chargeable to tax. Next. Now, say what happens in the scenario where the material is actually not coming by 31st of March. So, he has not returned, say there are some labor problems, that person is not able to complete the job work. So, on 31st of March, the tax will become chargeable. So, the principal will charge tax on that. Say after 2 months in June, that work is getting completed and the job worker is actually returning back the goods.
जॉब वर्कर के पास क्या होता है, 10 लाख का मटेरियल गया है काम करने को, उसका तो लेबर चार्ज 1 लाख का होगा, अपना 10 लाख का मटेरियल उसके पास पड़ा है, राइट. So what will happen in those scenario? If the tax has got charged, then when the job worker will return back those goods, he will have to charge the tax again to the principal on those. Otherwise, he is not required to charge, because once it has got charged, then the tax would again have to be charged by the job worker. Now, this example was for the inputs. Now, there could also be cases where we have practically seen that capital goods are also transferred. मैं मेरा मशीन भी देता हूँ जॉब वर्कर को, मशीन के साथ में मोल्ड्स, डाइज, जिग्स, फिक्सचर्स, टूल्स, I will supply that also, plus the raw material also I will supply. So the only difference is, for capital goods the time limit is 3 years to get back the machinery. For inputs it was 1 year. Right? What happens in the case where the goods are sent on approval basis? Will that get discontinued? अभी तो